Hey there, everybody. Just 1 second. I just wanted to say that this particular video is not like my normal one where I'm doing rapid fire. It's a little bit more conversational, a little less polished. Let me know what you think of it, and thank you for giving it a chance. Peace. Welcome, everybody, to Dream Right Go. Remember to like and subscribe. I'm DWG. Let's get it. Today, we're going to be talking about AI prompting. You remember I made a video called Embracing AI, which means that I was just starting out in this and I needed to go out there and learn about a lot of these things. So I need to give props to certain folks out there that help me come about with my whole prompt thing that I'm going to show you. The first person I'd like to draw your attention to is the Nerdy Novelist. I'm sure you guys have already heard of him. I have to give credit where credit is due because I watched some of his videos and some of my ideas that came about me creating my prompt came from watching some of these videos. The other one I want to bring your attention to is Bite Size Booksmith. This lady right here, she should have way more subscribers. Piece of gold out there that I don't think a lot of people realize that she's out there. The way that she goes about her particular channel and what she's talking about, not only how to build together your book that you're about to create, but also how to market it. Bite Size Booksmith, run on over there and subscribe. So that's what I've been doing all week. I've been studying about this whole prompt thing, okay? And I want to give you an example. I want to show you something here. So what you see right now are all these documents, and I'm scrolling down. Now you see all this stuff that you see on your screen. This is me all week long studying. I wouldn't be able to do this if those videos weren't out there. And let me just blow it up real quick to get close so that you can see that I'm not, this is not just some random text, okay? Here goes where it started off as. This is what it looked like when I first started off, me trying to figure out what I was doing. And then it grew to what I call the DWG AI Synopsis Creator version 1. Some of this stuff you just got to go through it. And I suggest that you do go through it. No matter if it's already been done, make yourself go through it so that you can fit those pieces together so that when people are having those conversations, you understand what's going on. You're not just saying, oh, I got this thing. You're saying, no, I built this thing and I understand what people are talking about. So that's what we're going to go ahead into today. The first part of this synopsis creator is what I call the input, or giving in the input. How I broke my prompt down is first I'm giving it a role, and that's going to be my input. Then I have 6 or 7 tasks for it to do. Then I have a double check at the end for originality. Let's go ahead and move this over. So the very first part is this. Right here, this part of my prompt is giving the AI a role of being an expert at generating high concept ideas. In mine, I have here generate 5 high concept ideas for novels and novellas. Then the next step is a task. Find out what the readers want, what they dislike, and give an example. And then I give it an example of how to do that. So here goes the example of me telling it to search out best sci-fi books for adults of 2024 and what they like and dislike, okay? The next step is going to be write a log line for each idea, and then I give it an example. And that's going to be this section right here, to write a log line, and then I give it an example of what I consider a log line to be. If I read this log line for you, I have a young hacker must stop a rogue AI from destroying humanity, but he falls in love with the AI avatar. Or a medieval princess disguises herself as a knight to join the quest for a magical artifact, but she is pursued by a ruthless prince who wants to marry her. So I'm giving the AI an example of what a log line is. After that, I'm going to go to task 3. This is the task 3 that I'm giving the AI. Check for originality and report that the idea has been found to be original. And that is this section right here down to here. So if you was to read that, you'll see that it's saying, check to be if it's non-published or published, check for originality. I'm telling it to report back to me. that it's found it to be original. I'm also telling it to replace it if it's found that the idea has been published or it's already been produced. I want it to replace it. Then I have here that it needs to report back to me that the idea has been original or non-produced, and so on and so forth. Okay, so then that is that one. The next is going to be a step 4, where I'm telling it to gather information. I'm telling it certain guidelines for the AI or a user to use. And that, what I mean by that is this section right here down to here. Now, this section right here can be used by the AI or it could be used by a user. I actually have another version of this prompt where the user puts in the information. So here I'm telling the AI to pick from these genres, the target audience, tone, theme, story elements, that type of thing, to pick from these things and to build the synopsis from these ideas. So if the AI wonders, okay, what genre am I doing? Okay, I can pick from this. What target audience? What is the tone going to be? What is the theme going to be? The AI can pick from this, and this is the instructions that is telling the AI to do that. Now, you as a person, the other way that this could be done is I have another one where it's worded different, and what you would do is go in there and delete the things that you don't want inside of here, or put new things inside of here, and then the AI can use that to build the synopsis with. Okay, then we're going to move on to task 5, which task 5 is additional guidelines, and that is going to start right here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that, and that's going to be the additional guidelines. Now, the additional guidelines is kind of related to the whole web search section of this prompt, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But this part right here are common things. So I'm telling it to avoid common stereotypes or common tropes that are used too much. But I'm also saying, hey, listen, if you are going to use a common trope, like it, for example, right here, don't use the chosen one trope or the evil empire trope. If you are going to use that one, only use it if you have a fresh or an original spin on that idea. So I'm not tying the AI's hands and saying, okay, I can't have an evil empire. You can have an evil empire. You can have the chosen one trope. You can have the love triangle trope, but you got to have a fresh spin on it. Okay. So that's what that part is about. Okay. So then the next part is where we have the brainstorming information, and this is where the AI is able to fill out the information, fill out the synopsises that it's going to create. Then I have task 7, which is to use the following examples to format and build your report, and that is going to be from right here to here. And this part is just telling the AI, listen, take all that information, take the synopsis and everything that you're doing, and I want you to report back to me in this format. It also, and you'll see that, it's going to provide the log line. What type of genres did you pick? It's giving it an example of what I want my report to look like. Then the last part of it is called double check. And on double check, it's just, again, checking for originality. And that is this section right here where it says, if ideas are all original, reply. All ideas are original, non-published, and non-produced. Okay. Now, the one part that you might be wondering when I said underneath here about additional guidelines or whatnot, when I said a part of its web search, all the way at the top here, and I didn't mention this when I was first saying, the role part I have in here, that it is to use a web search and keywords related to your genre, target audience, popular themes. And that web search is going to be why I'm using a certain AI, of which I'm going to talk about right now. So here we are. And when I first talked about getting into AI, I told you that I worked with a free, affordable AI, and that AI was Copilot, also known as Bing. Now, I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, I don't suggest that you use Bing as your go-to writing tool, but there are some things about it that are very useful. Okay, now this stuff that you see about generating a picture and whatnot, you would have to sign into Copilot in order to do that. I don't have an account. I'm not going to be signing in, and you don't have to. You can use it for free outside of this. Now, a little bit of information about Copilot. The Copilot Bing is built off of ChatGPT 4. I'm not sure if it's built off of Turbo or Plus, but I do know it's built off after 4 or on 4. But it also has something that's called Deep Search, which just basically means that it can do web searching. If I'm not mistaken, GPT 4 Plus goes up to April 2023, where the Copilot uses the power of GPT 4, but it also can search out these terms. So when I go back to the prompt that I created and I say use web search, that is what it's going to be utilizing. Another thing about the Copilot is that it can be very moody. It will literally stop working with you. This is one of the reasons why I'm saying I really wouldn't use it as a writing tool. It will stop working with you. It'll say, I don't want to do this anymore. And it'll get an attitude. It literally has mood swings. If you type in there and say, hey, Copilot, I hope you're having a good day. If you kind of approach it in a nice way, it may go a little longer. But there's been times I've done that and it still copped an attitude. So I don't know what would happen if you logged into it. Maybe it's a completely different experience, but I have no interest in creating a Microsoft account. Back over to my prompt. So what we're going to do now, live action, I'm going to zoom out on my prompt here that I created. And I'm going to, and now that it's zoomed out, you can actually see just how, long it is. I'm going to grab the entire prompt up to here. I'm going to grab it, copy, and then jump over to Copilot. Now, inside of Copilot, you're going to see these three options. One says more creative, more balanced, and more precise. The more precise one is kind of hard-nosed, and you can use up to 4,000 characters to ask your question. More balance is balanced, but you only have 2,000 characters that you can use to ask your question. And then you have the more creative, which gives you 4,000 characters. I think this is the same as when you go into other LLMs when they're talking about the temperature. I think that's what that is, but I can completely be wrong. Let's go ahead and paste in my prompt. And you'll see that it almost uses the 4,000 characters. We're going to go ahead and click submit. Okay, so there you've seen in real time what it produced using that prompt. Now, what I like to bring to your attention is you see here that it also reports that, is this idea the last human, this synopsis, is it original, similar books, none are found. However, when it gets to one of the ideas that there is a similar one, which is the time traveler's wife, who suffers from a genetic disorder. We all know what that sounds like, right? It's similar to the time traveler's wife right here, by that book, okay? So it reports that, hey, listen, here goes an idea, but it's similar to this book right here, and even tells you the author and whatnot, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. I kind of was hoping that it would have taken this off and then replaced with a new one. So there's some tweaking that I can do there more likely. And I also noticed that sometimes it'll give the same type of titles, but the synopsis will be a little bit different. Now you can also go back to the prompt, and I'm going to zoom in and then go to where you pick stuff at. So right here, I'm just going to leave this the same, but I'm going to remove some things and let's see how it does from there, right? So let's get rid of the whole artificial intelligence thing. Let's get rid of that. Let's do dystopian fantasy thriller. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all this, and I'm going to limit what it has to pick from. And then I'm going to get rid of, let's do humorous and action pack. We're going to keep that as well. Let's get rid of that. And then let's get rid of all this all the way up to freedom. And I'm going to use keep the unique. Let's get rid of the whole alien invasion, parallel worlds. Let's get rid of time travel. And we're going to leave it like that. Okay. So now I'm going to zoom out again, and then we're going to pick this new one. Now let's jump on back over into Copilot. Oh, let's hit continue. Let's jump in here. We're going to paste that in there. We're going to paste the new one in there, and let's see what happens after I've limited some of that things to replicate as if, or to represent a user just putting in what they want. You could also, create other different genre names and whatnot and see how it uses that. So let's watch to see what it produces. What type of synopsises does it produce now? Okay, now again, you've seen in real time what it took. It took my prompt, and these are the things that it created. Okay, so that is how that prompt is used. But the information or this video is going to be part one, because what's going to happen now, I'm very excited to announce that I've created another prompt called the DWG Ai Synopsis Polisher and Expander. And we're going to talk about that next in the next video. So the first video I created my my first prompt being the DWG Ai Synopsis Creator, and then we're going to take the information that came from that and put it into the Polisher and Expander. So I've been having a really good time creating these prompts, and I'm getting a lot better at it. It needs to be tweaked. It needs to be worked on. But again, I would highly encourage you, if you're new like me, to get in there and do it yourself. Like, learn from the folks, but then take that knowledge, apply your own self to it, and create it and make it work. It doesn't matter if you stumble and fall. Matter of fact, if you're not stumbling and falling, then you're not doing it right. You're actually doing yourself a disservice because you're not going through the process that's going to make it click in your mind. And when it clicks, you never know what door is going to open up in your mind and what type of perspective or what path you will go. You may open up a door that nobody else has even thought about. That's the wonderful thing about the human mind and your imagination. Remember, this AI stuff is a tool, and use it as a tool, but you are the creative force. You are making the decisions. You are tweaking this and tweaking that. This thing is just a brainstorming kind of tool to help you along the way. Now, is it growing and doing different things? Yes, but always remain you inside of all of this. Remember that. Then jump on over to Novel Crafter to go pick up Novel Crafter. They're not a sponsor of mine. I just really like them. They're good people with good hearts and a great piece of software, as I always say. Again, jump on over to Nerdy Novelist, Bite-Sized Booksmith. I'm talking about Diamond in the Rough. This is a piece of gold that people don't know about. Run, do not walk, and subscribe to her. I love what she's doing right here. And of course, check out Novel Crafter. This is DWG. Peace.